So now we already has the create random zombie, and so each time it will push a new zombie to the zombies. So it has the name and also the DNA properties. So now what we are going to do is to interact with the front end, and so which is need the event. The events are the ways for your contract to communicate that something happened on the blockchain to your app front end, which can be listening for certain events and take action. And this just like if you use the socket IO. So if you emit the message, you receive the message and you display something different in the front end. So this is how to declare the event. So for example, this is the integers add, and we have to pass the uint x, uint y, and also the uint result. So it will emit this event by passing this underscore x, underscore y, and also the results that it just calculate. So it is right before the return result. And your app, your front end, will listen to the event, and probably the JavaScript will look like this. Your contract.integers add, and it will do with the result returned, and also you can also deal with the error. So now we are going to put it into test. So the first thing is we have to declare the event called new zombie, and which need to pass the zombie ID, and which is the uint, and the name is string, and also the DNA is also a uint. So now we can copy this event and also go to the top and declare the event here. But now this time the event is called new zombie, and the uint is zombie ID, and the other is the string and the name. So we change this to string and change this to name, and the last one is DNA, so we change this to DNA. Now after we already create a event, we have to modify the create zombie, these functions, and then we are going to emit the event new zombie after adding the new zombie to our zombies array. So now we copy this, or we just copy, we paste emit, and we copy the new zombie, and then we pass the ID, but we do not know the ID yet, and we will create the ID later, so we pass the ID and also the underscore name, because we need the name, and also the DNA, so we pass the underscore name and underscore DNA. Now we are going to create ID, and it said you are going to create the zombie ID and the array.push. So the zombie.push will return a uint, and since the first item of an array has 0 index, so array.push -1 will be the index of the zombie we just add. So store the result of zombie.push -1. So we are going to create the uint ID is equal to zombie.push, and then it's set -1. So now we have the ID, and then we pass the ID at here. Now we can go to check the answer, and we have to add the semicolon and try again. I forgot to add the bracket, and it has to add the space between, so we try again. So we can go to the next chapter.